Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Tuesday, December 12, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. There is a lot to talk about, says President Ali ahead of meeting with Maduro. Putin playbook is being copied by Maduro. UK's David Lammy condemns threats to Guyana. Over 20,000 Venezuelan migrants registered in Guyana as of June-July 2023. Prison officer remanded for allegedly trying to smuggle narcotics into prison. An arson suspected at home of overseas-based Guyanese goes up in flames. Now for the news in detail. As the December 14 meeting between President Dr. Irfan Ali and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro draws closer, the Guyanese head of state is maintaining that there will be no wavering from the International Court of Justice process to settle the border controversy. However, he is positing that there is a lot to discuss with his counterpart. Here is Joel Bryan with our lead story tonight.
President Dr. Irfan Ali and Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro, who has in recent months intensified aggression against Guyana, are scheduled to have regionally brokered talks on Thursday. These upcoming talks have since been welcomed by Maduro as a chance for Venezuela to return to good neighborliness with Guyana. In a letter dispatched to St. Vincent and the Grenadines Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, who helped broker the talks, Maduro said he was looking forward to the forum. According to him, he remains committed to dialogue that would re-establish peace between the two countries. In the letter, however, Maduro's expressed desire to discuss the border controversy currently before the International Court of Justice, ICJ, but this will not find favor with President Ali. The Guyanese head of state has already been clear that the Guyana-Venezuela border controversy will not be up for discussion. He reinforced this position on Monday.
The controversy shall be settled at the ICJ. There is absolutely no wavering from this position. And I want to make it very clear that this is not a Guyanese position. This is a position from the Geneva Agreement. This is a position in which the United Nations Secretary General ascribed the settlement of this case to the ICJ. We don't live in a region by ourselves. We have respect for our bilateral partners, our regional partners. We have made it very clear our position. We are a peaceful country. Our only ambition is to secure and protect what belongs to us. And we have absolutely no difficulty meeting with any of our neighbors to ensure that we continue to talk about development. We continue to work as neighbors, coexist as neighbors, to work to ensure that this region remains a region of peace.
President Ali noted that there are many other things the two heads of state can discuss, including the migrant crisis and the harmful narratives. Asked what he would say if Maduro himself tried to put the border controversy and the December 3rd referendum on the table during discussions, President Ali had this to say.
Very clear. The 1899 settled where Esquiva belongs, and it belongs squarely, firmly in the geographic space of Guyana. That's the first thing I will say. The second thing is that the Geneva Agreement provided for the UN Secretary General to appoint a place where there's controversy should be settled. He has appointed the ICJ, and that is where we should respect, and that is where it shall be settled. When we get to the talks, there's a lot still to talk about. We say we are part of the same region. If we are both concerned about the development of our country, the development of our people, there are so many things to talk about. You know, you have the migration issue, you have climate change, you have consequential matters, and one of the important things is to ensure that this region remains peaceful and stable, and that is talking about the narrative that is not conducive for peace.
Joel Bryan, The Evening News.
Meanwhile, President Dr. Irfan Ali today wrote to Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, and other regional leaders to clarify several inaccurate positions taken by Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro ahead of their scheduled meeting on December 14. President Ali was responding to Maduro's acceptance letter to Gonsalves, wherein is contained a number of misleading and inaccurate positions, among those being that the talks would directly address the border controversy case. President Ali has again again made it clear that the border controversy case is not up for discussion. Meanwhile, United Kingdom's Shadow Secretary of State for Foreign, Commonwealth and Development Affairs, David Lammy, has condemned Venezuela's threat of aggression towards Guyana. Here's a look.
Mr. Speaker, an aggressive threat to a smaller neighbour, an attack on recognised international borders, an illegitimate referendum stoking historical grievances. The Putin playbook is being copied in Caracas by Maduro. We must stand up to bullies and tyrants with imperial ambitions. As we maintain our steadfast commitment to Ukraine, can the Minister reaffirm the UK's unwavering support for Guyana's sovereignty? Minister.
Yes, I can, Mr. Speaker. And yesterday I attended a meeting convened by the Secretary-General of the Commonwealth, which put out a statement last night, which I very much hope will reassure him.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Over 20,000 Venezuelan migrants were registered in Guyana as of June-July 2023, with the parliamentary opposition continuing its calls for curbing the influx of Venezuelan migrants. Here are the details from Jarl Bryan.
On Monday, opposition parliamentarian Tabita Sarabuhali posed questions to Home Affairs Minister Robeson Ben on the Venezuelan migrants in Guyana. Specifically, she questioned how many such migrants had been registered as of June and July of this year. In response, Ben explained that over 20,000 migrants were registered during that period. He also gave a breakdown for all the regions except regions 5, 6 and 10.
For Region 9, in the period, it was 1,348 persons. For Region 8, 10,671 persons for the reference period. For Region 2, 3,255 persons. Region 3, 1,114 persons. Region 4, 1,215 persons. Region 7, 4,099 persons, and Region 8, 80 persons.
Ben was also asked for details on efforts being made to improve the system for processing migrants. He explained that the ministry has been digitizing records and moreover, legislation is likely to be brought to the National Assembly to give effect to a migration policy.
In respect of the institutional framework related to migration, both the Immigration Department and the Immigration Services Department have been modernized. Staffing has increased. The work that they are doing are now, particularly for the Immigration Services Department, is being put on electronic platforms for proper recovery of information from the databases. With respect to the legislative framework, since 2020, we have not had a specific instrument or bill placed in the Parliament itself, but we are working at issues relating to the migration policy, out of which I am sure a bill or bills will be made in this Parliament.
Ben further assured that at the ministry's level, they have worked assiduously to ensure migrants arriving in Guyana are actually migrants. Meanwhile, opposition leader Aubrey Norton, when given a chance to speak, continued the opposition's calls for stemming the influx of migrants.
On the migrant issue, we have to repeat. We need some form of control in Essequibo. We cannot continue as is. Mr. Speaker, we have to curb the influx. Additionally, we have to put the procedures in place to ensure the correct thing happens.
Jarl Bryan, The Evening News.
With the goal of fostering an inclusive work environment, the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry today launched its inaugural Respect campaign, concentrating on empowering micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises. Find out more in this Rupasina report.
The Respect campaign was launched in commemoration of International Human Rights Day, observed on December 10th under the theme Freedom, Equality, and Justice for All. It is a collaborative effort between the GCCI's Entrepreneurship and Small Business Committee, Membership and Diversity Committee, and the Labor Ministry. Activities which will embody this 3-month campaign will include sensitization of local labor laws, creation of workplace policies, the implementation and monitoring of policies, and motivating businesses and individuals to commit to a culture of respect. Chair of the Entrepreneurship and Small Business Committee, Evie Gertruan, shared that this concept comes with the intention of building a culture of respect in the workplace.
And as a business service organization with almost 900 members, we have to talk about equity within the workplace. We also need to understand that with a percentage of almost 70 of our members being micro and small businesses, we also need to build capacity within that membership so that we can not only establish workplace policies, but we can also get a culture of equity, of diversity, of inclusion, talked about in smaller companies, talked about within, some of those single-person businesses that we have in the GCCI.
On the other hand, Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton called the initiative a useful one, where the country's robust development is being met with consideration for proper labour relations.
I have many instances where companies, instead of checking with the Ministry of Labour, they go and they pay a lot of money to lawyers and so-called HR experts who advise them badly, and they end up breaking the law. So for businesses and business owners and new people who are embracing business, you want to know any and everything about the labor laws in Guyana, the Ministry of Labor gives that free service.
The campaign will highlight the identification of problems in the workplace, such as interpersonal conflict, bullying, harassment, and discrimination, with the aim of creating solutions that address these issues.
Coming up, Labour Ministry to sign MOU with Canadian firm to address local labour shortages, and a night of tributes hosted to honour 5 GDF fallen heroes. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe. Premier insurance coverage for less. Stay safe.
Did you know that when you leave your property unoccupied and unmanaged, it deteriorates much faster than you can imagine? Then before you know it, much of your hard-earned investment is wasted. At Hand in Hand Trust Corporation, property management is our business. Whether you travel for long periods, live overseas, or have several properties that require managing, let us at Hand in Hand Trust Corporation take care of this for you. Your property is safe with us. Hand in Hand Trust Corporation Incorporated, a member of the Hand in Hand Group of Companies.
Giving you the best Christmas with Digicel.
Digicel is bringing you the best deals, the best prices, and the best cash prizes. Hold on to your Santa hats, because there's up to $50 million in cash to be won. Activate any data plan, and you can be one of 14 winners to join Digicel's Spin to Win game show, where you can win millions in cash. Activate a data plan today on the best network and make this Christmas the best one yet.
Digicel.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. A female officer attached to the New Amsterdam prisons was today remanded in the same facility for allegedly trying to smuggle narcotics into the penitentiary. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael was in court and has that story.
Angelica Cameron, a 32-year-old prison officer attached to the New Amsterdam prison, was remanded to prison by magistrate Peter Yu. She appeared at the New Amsterdam court on 2 counts of possession of narcotics for the purpose of trafficking. It is alleged that on December 9th at the New Amsterdam prison she had in her possession 137 grams of cannabis for the purpose of trafficking. The mother of 2 is also charged with being in possession of 152 grams of cannabis also on December 9th at Penitentiary Walk, New Amsterdam for the purpose of trafficking. Cameron pleaded not guilty to both charges. Attorney Ryan Crawford, representing the prison officer in an appeal for bail, said she has not been dismissed from work. He told the court that no narcotic was found on her, but rather in the lunchroom of the prison. Crawford said the other charge relates to narcotics allegedly being found in her car, but it was found after she had worked the night shift. Crawford argued that during the night shift the night before she would have gone out to get dinner and had taken another prison officer in her car. The lawyer told the court that it was hours later that a narcotic was found and others would have had access to the vehicle. The lawyer, in pleading with the court to grant bail, pointed out that her 2 children are ages 6 and 3 years old. He said too that her husband is in the military and is currently stationed at the border. He put forward the need for the children's care as a reason why bail should not be denied. However, the prosecution told the court that when Cameron returned from dinner, she was searched and nothing illegal was found on her, but a drug was discovered in a cup she was carrying at the time. The prosecution asked the court not to grant bail since when the drug was found in the car, the vehicle was locked and it was only the prison officer who had access to the car. The prosecution says there are at least 13 witnesses so far and they are awaiting an analyst's report. As such, Cameron was remanded until December 27th. When they accused her that bail was being refused, she broke down in tears. Meanwhile, police in a statement had said that a female officer searched her colleague, but nothing was found. The officer then searched the water bottle that she was holding. Inside the water bottle was a transparent taped plastic containing leaves, seeds, and stems of suspected to be cannabis. The officer contacted her superior, after which a further search was carried out in her presence on her motor car, PZZ 1197. On the floor behind the driver's seat, a black plastic bag containing 2 transparent parcels wrapped in tape was found. An examination was carried out on the parcels and it was observed that a quantity of leaves, seeds, and stems suspected to be cannabis was found. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
A fire at number 70 village, currently in Berbice, this morning has left 1 person homeless. The homeowner believes that it is an act of arson. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael joins us again with this report.
The early morning fire on Tuesday has left 1 person homeless. Joe Passad, an overseas-based Guyanese who lives at number 70 village quarantine, says he was asleep at the time of the fire. He says it was shortly after 1 hour when he heard a crackling sound and initially thought that his home was being burglarized. But when he looked outside, he saw the brightness from the flames and realized that there was a fire.
So I quickly grabbed my 1 passport, all my documents with me and everything, phone, both my Canadian phone and this phone. They all burnt, everything burnt, other than my Canadian passport. And this car, when I run down the other stairs, the inside stairs to the back door, I came down, I saw a fire on this left side of this car here, and the stair was already ablaze, and it was on the left side of the house, on the right side of the house, sorry. Right upstairs, smokers and I barely make it out.
Based on the time and where the fire was initially observed, Prasad is convinced that it was an act of arson.
But I have cameras. But the cameras was on my phone, I would see it in Canada. But now the phones are all gone, and I doubt, well, I can't remember my ID nor my password for the cloud. But I hope I can do that sooner or later. But it was definitely in my mind arson. I got suspects, and I think they have motive, means, opportunity.
Prasad, who migrated half a century ago and worked as a senior official for primary education in Canada, returned on December 7th. He says damages are estimated in the millions.
You see, I have those 3 combines out there. I got 2 tractors on the next side, and the house carts, this 1 combine. I had lots of parts, as you can see, metal everywhere. Right? Lots of parts I had in here. And both upstairs in one room was all parts and tools, and in downstairs was lots of parts, tools, bearings. But I stopped the rise since 2014 because I'm an engineer in Canada.
Meanwhile, Prasad, in recounting his ordeal, said he was almost trapped in the building as it burnt.
When I opened the room door and I saw the fire on the ceiling there, I said, my God. And I just stretched my hand to grab a pants. I leave my real pants with everything inside. You know, you're confused. And you see this ironwork we put to keep thieves off is very dangerous. You become like a prisoner in your own house. And thank God I could have escaped through that stair through the smoke. If I didn't do that, I was trapped. My foot is burnt at the bottom, walking through a little bit of fire to get out of there at the back door.
Prasad was expected to return to Canada on January 1st. He says he might be leaving earlier. Both the fire department and the police are investigating. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
The Ministry of Labour will soon sign a memorandum of understanding with Canadian firm Reunion Gold to provide technical training to that company's employees. Subject Minister Joseph Hamilton says the MOU is part of the many interventions being put in place to address the labour shortage in several sectors, especially in the mining industry. Trishelle Sobers has the details.
Through the collaboration, the Ministry of Labour will provide technical training and accreditation to employees of Reunion Gold, which currently operates at the Omai gold mining site. Labour Minister Joseph Hamilton says the training exercises will be conducted at his ministry's welding and fabrication facility in Bartica Region 7. According to Minister Hamilton, when operational, this initiative will play an integral role in addressing the company's labor shortage issue and ensure employees gain gold standard skills.
At the level of mining, at the level of oil and gas, we hope to have the apprenticeship program that we supervise to play that role so that they can train model employees for their sector and for their companies. A part of it or most of it will be funded by the company because we are training specific skill sets for the company. So that will happen, but we will still continue at the level of Board of Industrial Training itself, continue to do training at the facility.
On the issue of healthy work environments, Minister Hamilton says efforts are ongoing to expand his ministry's Occupational Safety and Health Department, which will see OSH officers being appointed across the country. He notes that this is part of efforts to promote good workplace safety and health practices, reduce workplace accidents, specifically the reduction of workplace fatalities.
I have engaged the ILO. And they will be making available technical specialists to help us to develop more than where we are. Secondly, I raised the same issue with the U.S. ambassador to see how perhaps the United States can facilitate training for us in the area of HSSE, as they call it.
Reunion Gold Corporation is a Canadian gold exploration and development company. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
Guyana lost heroes, men of the highest military standards, not Guyana Defense Force ranks, said Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips as he reflected on the lives of the 5 fallen soldiers. Trishelle Sobers joins us again with the details.
The lives of the late retired Brigadier Gary Beaton, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Shahood, Lieutenant Colonel Sean William, Lieutenant Colonel Michael Charles, and Sergeant Jason Gann were honored with a night of reflection at the National Stadium on Monday evening. During the emotional and solemn ceremony, wreaths were laid and tributes through art forms such as dance, poetry, and songs were made. Many also took to the stage with teary eyes to share anecdotes of their most precious memory with their brothers, husbands, friend, and colleague, for it is this way the ranks will be remembered. Among them was Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, who presented his tribute on behalf of himself and Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces and President of Guyana, Dr. Irfan Ali.
I remember fondly at the end of the course, we were doing a management phase at Diamond. There was a management institute at Diamond. And when all of us finished the day, was heading back to Mary, Mike Charles stopped the bus and he marched us into his yard. His mom is here. And she had the hottest curry and roti, tea and coffee for us. That is what we became. We became brothers. And as you grieve, families, as you grieve, we grieve with you. We have lost some great men in this tragedy.
According to Prime Minister Mark Phillips, the 5 fallen GDF ranks who served in the Special Forces together were disciplined, displayed bravery, and possessed the highest standard of military expertise. He notes that while he lost brothers and wives lost husbands, Guyana lost heroes who wouldn't have thought twice to defend and protect the nation.
The late Mike Charles, the late Gary Beaton, the late Michael Shahood, the late Sean Welcome, and our dear Staff Sergeant, now promoted to Warrant Officer posthumously, Warrant Officer Khan. They're all black hats. When you wear black hat in the GDF, you are better than anyone else in the GDF. You're special forces. This was the best, the creme de la creme that we lost. We did the right thing by referring to them as our heroes.
Meanwhile, GDF's Chief of Staff Brigadier Omar Khan acknowledged that the departure of the officers have created a void in the force. He affirmed that additional efforts will be made to support the immediate family members of the officers. Trishelle Sobers, Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed to vehicular traffic on Wednesday, December 13, 2023 at 4 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 16 hours 35 on Wednesday, December 13, 2023, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
KFC International Goodwill Series kicks off and GFF Blue Water partner for new stadium in Guyana. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
John Lewis Styles has opened a new department, now offering home goods. Here you can find quality sheets and towels, pillows, blankets, and even bath mats and shower curtains. Organize your laundry with clothes baskets, fabric steamers, irons, and ironing boards. For the kitchen we have small appliances, towels and mittens, pot sets and dinner sets too. Decorate the house with mirrors, picture frames, floating shelves and decorative pillows. All these and more on Waterloo Street. It's fashion for the home. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Superbet, your best bet. With many agents countrywide, our products are easily accessible. Visit an agent nearest to you to play your favorite games. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.
Giving you the best Christmas with Digicel.
This Christmas, it's all about the best. Digicel is bringing you the best deals, the best prices, and the best cash prizes. Get half off and a whopping 50 gigs of data when you purchase the Samsung A04 for just $14,000, the Samsung A14 for just $29,000, or the Samsung A24 for just $35,000. That's right, half off and 50 gigs of data. It doesn't get any better than this. So why wait? This Christmas, buy nothing but the best. Offer good while stocks last.